I'm just gonna wait.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We're the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm tapes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight is Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. So I was going to go with the low-hanging fruit stat of Donovan Mitchell and Robin Lopez combined for 72 points in the win against the Chicago Bulls, but I got a better stat. Jeremy Sochan, rookie for the San Antonio Spurs, was shooting 45%, 11 of 24 from three-point range. Switched to one-handed free throws, and is now shooting 71%, 15 of 21. So, one-handed free throws are working well for Jeremy Sochan.
It's weird.
Absolutely wild. He shoots his free throws in a two-handed set shot. It is the lawn boss, Joey McCroskey. Get that, Joe.
I don't make many free throws, but if I did shoot them, I would shoot them at the two-handed set shot. I do the tornado. I do the Joakim Noah, the little
twist,
cyclone.
On it. A cyclone.
Yeah.
And making us sound as delicious as Dove chocolate, filling in those melodies when we're singing the carols. It is the professional Adam Bruns, the Brunson burner. How levels tonight, Adam?
They are fantastic, and I had a lot of fun putting in those little jingle bells last week.
Yes,
They were placed perfectly.
They were very jingly.
They were jingly. It was great.
A little less work tonight for you on this one, so that'll be good.
Great, fantastic.
But we got a fun show ahead of us. We are going to talk New Year's resolutions, another tradition of the Box Out Boys that's becoming here. After our Christmas show, we go ahead and give the teams a New Year's resolution to start off the year. Our boy, the lawn boss, he did all the homework this year. So he's gonna walk us through them. He's got a resolution for every team, and then me and Chris are gonna kind of give him some feedback, our thoughts on those resolutions. So Joey, let us know what's going on, man. What are these resolutions?
Yeah, buckle in. This might be a haul here, but we're gonna go through every team. We got a resolution from all. So we're gonna start in the Eastern Conference with the Atlantic Division. Boston Celtics up first. Yeah, divisions. Boston Celtics hold the course. League best net rating at 6.5, along with the league best 26 wins. The Celtics are clicking on both ends of the floor. With Tatum as a budding MVP candidate, the Celtics need to keep this pace through the remainder of the season, and they could be looking at righting their championship wrong from last season. Boston Celtics need to hold the course.
Chris, what do you think, man?
They just got blown up by 37 at OKC.
Without Shai Gilgeous.
Yeah. This team has without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This team has a low ceiling. I agree. Keep the course, but ain't going anywhere.
That's
my opinion on it.
That's his opinion on it. I would say, I agree with Chris. I mean, it's a tough week to kind of say keep the course when they're kind of struggling a little bit this week, but generally I agree here. I think that they, my question that I had with this is Tatum actually a budding MVP candidate, or is this kind of starting to fall to maybe a three-man race here with Jokic, Giannis, and Durant? I don't know.
I think budding is a fair description, right? I don't think he's
Luka. Hang on,
he's quite a contender. He's not a contender yet, but he's a budding candidate, right? He's on the cusp. I guess you're right. It's probably a bad week to say hold the course, but I
No,
I
I
don't know.
mean, in my comment, I agree with you, Joey. They
Yeah.
should hold the course. I just think this team is peaking now, and they're first in offensive rating. Their 3-point percentage, I'm pretty sure, is like 42%, which is unsustainable. So I feel like this team is going to regress. But like honestly, you're not going to do anything right now to really change that. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if I see them having like a flip of last season where they're bad in the front half and great in the second half. And yeah,
What if it's the opposite?
I don't see that happening. They just seem much more put together and consistent right now.
I think
every team has a bad loss. It happens, but
yeah. I think this is a tricky stretch in the season for them. I think they can get a little bored here. Obviously, it's not the beginning of the season where you're hyped up, and it's not the end of the season when you're getting ready to go. So I can easily see them maybe looking worse than they are, and I do kind of generally agree. Keep the course and head into the playoffs with your mindset to win the title. So let's move on to the next team, Joey.
All right, Brooklyn Nets. Just leave them alone. The Nets are 16-2 since Thanksgiving after starting the season 9-10 and currently on a 12-game win streak. Durant is averaging 30 points per game since Thanksgiving and Kyrie at 26 since he returned from his suspension. KD is shooting over 60% and Kyrie at 52. To say everything is clicking in Brooklyn is an understatement, and they'd be best served by just being left alone.
Yeah, this is wild to me. Just like how under the radar the Nets have been. I just haven't, really heard their name brought up a ton. And you check the standings, the second seed, like you were saying, 16-2 since Thanksgiving, 12-game winning streak. That to me is probably the craziest thing, that it seems to be kind of flying under the radar a little bit. Chris, what do you think, man?
My note here was this team has gone through enough drama, and so I agree with you, Titus. I think why no one's talking about them is because everyone's tired of talking about them. For the Kyrie drama, Kyrie's actually he had a comment the other day that when Mitchell passed him for most points scored in a Cavs franchise history, he was like, records are meant to be broken. And I like it when guys say that.
Yeah,
I like that kind of comment. So I don't have anything else to say. They're fine. Just leave it alone.
just let them fly under the radar. Another
Be
good
quiet.
point there. It's gotta be quiet.
The less you talk about them, the better they seem to be.
It's I don't know, man. I am so I just have so much trauma from the Nets these last couple of seasons that I won't believe this until it's the playoff time, and even then I'm gonna be like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can trust this team. So
Yeah, they're like a 4-game losing streak away from everybody talking about them again, which is the weird point that no one's gonna talk about them now, but bad stretch, and it's completely the other way.
yeah, true. All right, let's go on to the next team.
The New York Knicks. I struggle with this one a bit, but here's what I came up with. So shock the world. RJ Barrett called it before the season, but the Knicks have been up and down and frankly exactly who we thought they were, a middle-of-the-road team with talent that can't put it all together. Randall is matching his all-star stats from 2 seasons ago, and Brunson has been a fantastic addition. Outside of that, Tibbs has shrunk the rotation. The Knicks are hanging in the play-in. Time to shock us, New York.
Chris, what do you think, man?
My only comment is give D-Rose his minutes. The other thing is this is what happens when you don't go all in for a player, right? They didn't want to close the deal on Donovan Mitchell, and now they're 8th. They're 4th in their division, 8th in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I like the shock the world comment. I think, Joey, what you're trying to get at here is kind of be better with what you got.
Well, it's good that is RJ Barrett said before the season that the Knicks were going to shock the world, and
got it. Yeah,
it's hard to say that they've done anything close to that.
Barrett, I mean, RJ, since he signed that contract, he's kind of been not, hopefully he would take another leap. He really hasn't. Brunson's been a bright surprise, like you mentioned. Yeah, this team's gonna be fine. They're right in the middle of the road, what we expected.
I think kind of to build off what you were saying there, Joey. I would maybe take a step further, or maybe like define what shock the world or whatever it might be. I think they should make the playoffs, like the actual playoffs. You said at the end of your clip there that they were hanging into the play-in tournament. They are 8th seed, but Miami's struggling. Atlanta's been struggling. Washington's struggling. The Bulls and Toronto are struggling, and then the team that's really ahead of them right now that is the Pacers, and that was supposed to be a play-in team.
Mm-hmm.
So, or a bottom 4 team. So to me, I go, hey, this is your time to strike. There's a lot of teams struggling. Like you said, shock the world. Go ahead and make the playoffs and be the Bulls of last year, kind of, maybe. The team that maybe doesn't fit there yet, but is kind of snuck themselves in. That's what I think, man.
I like the Bears. Wow, I like the Bulls comparison from last season. I think that's about right. Yeah, like you should be hanging out around the cusp, but you should be good enough to make
Yeah.
it.
Just be able
To make it in.
just because of how down other teams have been. So that could be their resolution of, hey, look, let's pick yourself up. You got the talent. Let's do it.
Get in the real playoffs. I like
Get in
it.
the real playoffs.
All right, up next in the Atlantic, oh my God, whew, start over here.
What?
Philadelphia 76ers get Embiid the MVP. There's no doubt the Sixers are at their best when Embiid is at his best, averaging 33.5 a game. Good for second in the league behind Luka. Embiid is going to be in the conversation for MVP, but the team needs to boost their record to match the success his fellow contenders are having. Give him the ball, see what happens. It's their best chance at winning and him winning. So this one is not centered around the team. This is more of a individual accolade, but I think they're kind of right where they should be in terms of their seeding right now. And the thing that they should focus on is keeping their superstar happy. And that I think most happy would be him getting the MVP.
Yeah, you know what? He's been in the MVP race the last couple of seasons. I think they'd have to get up to that, a top seed, maybe a number 1 or number 2 seed in the East, which is, very possible with, some of the injuries that Milwaukee and Boston have had. So certainly realistic. 33 points a game. The dude is balling. I'm with this. Finally get your MVP, Embiid.
Go get yours.
Guys, what are we talking about here? This is a sham of a franchise that is going to continue to go nowhere. Embiid is good enough. He's just not good enough on his own. Tobias and Tyrese are not good enough role players. This team screams second round disappointment. Harden to Houston? That's been in the works the last couple of weeks. What are we doing here? The 76ers still have Doc Rivers as the head coach. No. The 76ers, sure. Try to do whatever you want. You have PJ Tucker getting 0 points in 25 minutes a game. No. The 76ers are not going to win it. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, maybe Embiid will get third in MVP for the 7th straight year or whatever. But no. No.
Doesn't seem like a smart franchise. Doesn't hire the right
seem
people.
like a good franchise decision here. So.
You know what they say? Bridges are meant to be burned. So fuck you, Philly.
This heat. Absolute heat from Chris.
Get out of here.
What are we talking about?
I love it.
Beautiful.
All right. So the 76ers resolution is get your head out of your ass. Done.
You know what? They're coming out. I don't care. Nobody cares.
All right. Last team in the Atlantic. Then we've got a question here, but we'll do the last team in the Atlantic. Toronto Raptors. Be quiet. The Raptors are accustomed to winning, but they're in a similar situation this season as they were last year. The roster looks primed for a shakeup, but don't do something you'll regret next season. This team has earned the chance to run it through the whole schedule and see where they land.
Interesting.
Not a lot said there, but also a lot said.
Yeah. This one was something that made me kind of curious, kind of reading through these, because I was, you said they've earned the chance to run it through the entire schedule. And my first question was, have they? Like, I think kind of in a broad view of it, yes, I believe that the Raptors franchise has, given themselves enough clout to kind of, hey, we should see what this team is. But this specific team, I was kind of curious on that. I was like, you know what? Is this team good enough? We talk about blowing up the Bulls all the time, but isn't, are people talking about blowing up the Raptors? And should we be talking about that? Should we talk about trade Scotty Barnes? Should we talk about some other, wild things? That I actually don't know. Chris, what do you think, man?
Pascal Siakam, you can have him.
Oh, wow.
I think I said this how we kicked off the pod with Pascal Siakam. I got blocked on Twitter by a user in a fight because of that.
Twitter beef. Remember
this team, yeah, we need more Twitter beef.
That was fun.
But Joey, your Toronto description was very Toronto-esque, where you're very polite with what you're trying to say, because it's like, hey, they're primed for a shakeup. Yeah, do something. Like Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam are not enough. Scotty Barnes, a lot of sophomore guys, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, obviously Cade got hurt, are just regressing this year. It's kind of weird with all these sophomore guys. Sophomore slumps, man. But you're saying be quiet. I kind of disagree. I feel like they really should do a shakeup. I don't think they will, but I feel like they really should.
My fear on the Raptors, not fear, but is Siakam seems like one of those guys who, in a different scenario, would thrive, but because of what you said about him, Chris, like he's not going to get you a ton in return. Like he's going to get you something in return, but is it enough to make you that much better? But I feel like he would go somewhere else and just, be a Jeremy Grant type player where it's like he's just going to ball out and, all of a sudden you're like, wow, we shouldn't have let that guy go. So I guess maybe they do need to shake things up a little bit. I just don't know if it's at the top of their franchise. I don't know if their top three are untouchable. I feel like they might be at this point. But then again, they're also at the risk of you keep it too long and you get to the offseason and then it's too late, a la, the Bulls last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think be quiet. I think he keeps Siakam and you got to see what happens there.
Burn it down. You know me. I'm a quick to burn
everything
down.
down.
Burn it.
Just fill the league with guys from Europe. Who cares? Start it all over.
You want to do a question now or you want to save it for the end?
Let's do it now.
Let's do it now.
While they're
Show it up.
still awake.
Oops. I did it. I got it.
Oh, you did, yeah.
All right. What would your New Year's resolution be for your least favorite player? This is obviously from Baskets Be Awesome. Joey, who's your least favorite player? And what would your resolution be? Is this LeBron?
No, he's not my least favorite
Or
player.
John? I was trying to think of who least favorite.
No, it's between like Grayson Allen and Kobe White.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Kobe White, I feel like has just become so useless that I don't even care about him anymore, which is fine. Like they're not shoving him down my throat anymore, so I'm cool with it. Grayson Allen. The resolution for him is there a way for him to just like get out of the league? Is that a resolution? Like he just like not like injury because I don't want to do that, but like just like go away. Like nobody wants you anymore. Nobody wants you anymore. Just go away. Shoving DeMar down. Yeah, breaking wrists last season. Just go away. Go away.
I like that. Here's a super Grayson Allen. Go away. Chris, you got a least favorite player and a
Guys, what do you got? Who's your
me?
least
So
favorite
I was trying to
player?
think of my least favorite player too. Obviously, like Trae Young, keep in mind, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. I wouldn't say this is this is not my least favorite player. I don't want to. This might ruffle some feathers here. Not my least favorite player, but Zach LaVine. You need to play like a max contract guy, all right, and not just against the Pistons either. You know what I mean? Night in, night out. Let's see some consistency.
All right, I'll say my least favorite player is Joel Embiid. You're very talented. You're very big and tall, but you still try to draw 20 free throws a game. What are you trying to do, buddy? Like, just use your talent and get to the rim. You're huge. Just, I don't understand why he's not doing. He's not doing that more often than he is, man. It's frustrating. He averages 33 points a game, like we mentioned earlier, which is great. But at the same time, he's not playing basketball that I think that can actually win you a championship. Until I see kind of more efficiency and consistency, I'm not going to see that until then. So, yeah.
All right, Embiid, tighten up, man. According to the stats man, Chris,
Tighten up.
Tighten up, Embiid. Oh, some good stuff as we went around the horn there. All right, let's move into our next division. Joey, what we got?
Into the Central Division, and everybody take a drink before we start this one here. Just everybody get your shit together. All right.
Green tea.
Up first, Chicago Bulls.
Go ahead.
Figure it the fuck out.
Yes.
Make up your mind on what you're going to be. You're locked into Billy and Zach for the long term, but have stayed quiet on shaking anything else up. This current build is mediocre at best, and Lonzo doesn't save you from a lack of effort. From a season to build on in 21-22 to what's looking like a season to forget in 22-23, please give us a reason to either forget it or remember it.
So what are you saying here? Are you saying
He's saying figure it the fuck out is what he's saying.
So you're saying stay the course and like I trust these guys. Zach, step up, be a leader. Is that kind of the memo you're trying to get out there?
I think so.
Okay.
Like I don't think you have to trade Zach.
No.
I don't think you have to, but I think you need to make up your mind. And Titus has been saying it for a long time. Like, is being just like slightly competitive okay? And I argued for a long time that it was okay. And slightly competitive to me was like 6, 7, 8 seed. Like, like you're just right there. And like, yeah, you're stuck in basketball hell, but you're getting me an extra playoff series and like, you're kind of exciting. But fighting for like 10 and 11. Like, the fuck is that? Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
do anything. So figure it the fuck out. Like
The
make up
fuck
your
is
mind.
that?
Look at that. What are we, 10 seed?
The fuck is that, right? 3 years ago, we would have been like, this whole team would have been blown up, right? Already,
Yeah.
because that would have been shit. So they just need to make up their mind. And if they come out and say, hey, we are sticking with this core and we think Lonzo is the piece and we're going to at least have Lonzo for one season with all of these guys, like, okay, fine. At least tell me what's going on. But like, you just, right now, it's just not.
Yeah, it's
There's
a
just
bit of a mess
silence.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know me, blow it up, man. Let's just pull the trigger here. Pull the pin. It's done. It's
Yeah.
done.
The unfortunate thing with this Bulls team is when you hear news about how Lonzo is doing, and Zach Lowe mentioned this like a week or two ago at this point, but it's kind of like you hear like an elderly person in a retirement community. It's like, oh, Lonzo's walking again. Hey, look at that. Oh, he took some running steps. Like, yeah, Lonzo Ball. He's gonna come
Chris is on a
back.
heater tonight.
And it's like,
Oh
come
my
on,
God.
Lonzo. What are you doing? Like, it's if honestly, I truly believe if Lonzo Ball was on this team right now, they would be the 6th seed. They are better than Indiana, Miami, New York, Atlanta, and Washington with Lonzo Ball in the lineup. That is my opinion.
I think
And
you're right.
I will hold it forever. So I was frustrated with Lonzo when we signed him because of this, and it's just I'm living it right now, and it's that's where I'm at.
That's where he's at. I've seen enough. I don't care.
You
Bring
saw
Lonzo
nothing.
back. Bring
You saw nothing like March last
I know,
season.
yeah, I was just like, I told you, the Bucks is absolutely destroyed me. The Bucks series, I was like, oh, this is it. That was fun. It was a fun
You went to
season.
a game too, right?
I went to
Yeah.
one game. It was one game. They got blown out in the first quarter. It never was close. That was the end of my Bulls, DeMar, Zach Love. That was it. It was done. Left the stadium. I had a blast. It was a great time. But I was done.
It was over.
I was done. I was done with it after that, and I haven't been back on the bandwagon since. Fuck 'em. All right, let's move on.
All right, so let's get out of the emotional stage and get
Yes.
into some factual stuff here. All right, Cleveland Cavaliers
Do it.
upgrade the wing.
Oh,
Mitchell,
man, this
Garland,
is good
Mobley,
stuff.
and Allen have all been as advertised. 4 out of 5 positions firing at all cylinders is damn good, but replacing Chetty Osman and Kevin Love with a talented, consistent wing makes the Cavs a team everybody fears.
Chris, what do you think, man?
Yeah, wing help. I agree with Joey on this one. This was a spot on response or
Yes,
a
this was great.
description. I know a pretty good consistent wing that could provide some instant offense for this team currently on the West Coast that may not be happy with his situation, wants to play for a winning franchise. So, maybe there's something there, but obviously
chance.
Cleveland gave a lot of draft capital up with the Mitchell trade. I don't know what else they could do to try to make that kind of trade. But he would be pretty good in this situation right now.
I think you're spot on here, Joey. Again, this was one of my favorite ones of your reading through your resolutions here. But this one, I think they're a piece away. The Cavs are a piece away. I think they're a fun team this year. This is like, to me, a team I would be happy with. Like if the Bulls were in this kind of position where they're fun, exciting, kind of in the mix in that 3-4 spot, 5 spot, maybe whatever. But a piece away, clearly a piece away. And that's kind of giving you the hope. That's where I would be excited for. I think the Cavs are that kind of team. They're right there. They're on the cusp. They got a superstar. They just need, a piece or two more to fill out their roster, and I think they'll be set. So I agree with this.
All right, so we're all in agreement.
We're all
That's
agreeing on
a-
that one. Let's
that's a
go ahead
happy
to the
one.
next game. Yeah, that's a Cavs. Can't be
This
mad at them right
one,
now.
next one might have been one of the harder ones to write. Detroit Pistons, hard ones because it was sad, but wait and wait some more. Wait for Cade to be healthy. Wait for Jaden Ivey to be even more legit than he's shown so far. Tied for the worst record in the league. The Pistons have another chance at a lottery pick. Potentially adding Wembanyama could flip their script from 0 to hero. This was supposed to be, I think, one of the better stories of the season. Chris and I took the overs. I think Titus, you still rode the under. This team was supposed to be fun and exciting. They added, the veteran in Bogdanovich, and everything was supposed to be sunshine and rainbows for the Pistons. Instead, Cade Cunningham has season-ending surgery, and they are going to win probably 20 games this season.
Yeah, tough one for them. We can keep this kind of short here, Chris. Any thoughts on this one, or is just
Wobbling for Wemby. That's it.
to Wemby? Yep, I kind of agree. Yeah, this one is pretty clear. Just go get that pick. I would like to see Bogdanovich move though. I think he's
Yeah.
been playing great. I'd love to see him get on a contender, help somebody out. So
Yep.
I'd say that.
All right. The next one, Indiana Pacers. The resolution for them is everything else. Indiana has found their backcourt of the future in Mathurin and Halliburton. Hield and Turner continue to be in the rumor mill. The four of them are good enough for sixth in the East, but no real confidence for a playoff run. You've got your backcourt. Now it's time to decide if you're going to go all in around them or be stuck in the middle of the East that doesn't have a changing of the guard coming at the top anytime soon.
Dude, how about Buddy Hield with the fastest 3-pointer made ever to start a game? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I think I saw it was
That's a
around the jump
stat.
ball, right?
I should have sent that to you guys. It was in 3 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was 11:57 on the shot clock when he made his 3-pointer. It was off the tip. They lost the tip. He gets the board, makes the 3 right away. And
Boss
so
move.
shout out Buddy Hield, man.
Boss move.
I agree with. I don't want to spend too much time on this team.
Yeah.
This team just has too many shooting guards. They're kind of fun to watch because of how you never know. This team could get hot and just beat a good team in a night. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick too. This team just needs to move Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Let's get it done. Come on, they're not on the timeline. Everybody else wants them on other teams. Just make the move.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. All right. Last one in the Central Division, the Milwaukee Bucks. Keep Middleton on the bench until he's fully healthy. The first long resolution. The Bucks have been handling the regular season fine with Middleton in and out of the lineup, but as we saw in the conference finals last season, having him healthy in a series can be the difference in clutch games. The Bucks are built for 1 or 2 more runs with their current core and need to take advantage of a healthy Middleton when it actually matters.
Spot on here, Joey. This is one of the ones I really loved. I think that you pointing out that they have 2 or 3 more runs in them is so accurate. And it kind of shows too how quickly the league changes. They had their title run 2 years ago, miss out against Boston last year. This is it. Giannis is at his peak. He's probably the best player in the league besides Luka. You need to have that guy ready to go. Middleton, in what you're talking about, the resolution, keep Middleton on the bench till he's fully healthy. He needs to be ready to go against Boston in the playoffs. So 100% agree. Chris, what do you think, man?
Yep. No need to rush it. This team has earned not to rush it after winning it 2 years ago and then see what happened at the end of last season. This team is not like some other teams that are trying to do similar things like the Clippers or anybody who really rests. Like, it's kind of annoying. Like, just play a little bit, guys. Come on. At least Milwaukee won it.
Yep. I think this is a clear cut, man. They're playing for a championship this year. They're not worried.
You're right there, Joey.
One,
Yeah,
two.
just had a little spillage. We're good.
Spillage. We're spilling. We're getting deep here.
You want me to read your next one? Or are you good?
No, I got the next one, and then I'll.
Oh, wait, actually, sorry. I meant to. Should we read the question? There was an email that's related to the Central Division.
There you go.
That I
Read
thought
the
we could.
question.
Yeah, read the email real quick.
Let's go to this. So from JDZ Dominguez at gmail.com. Shout out.
Shouts
Donovan
out.
Mitchell -WTH. I get this guy's a decent player. What? He's averaging 24 to 20 per game. He's averaging 29.3 points per game this season. How do you let this guy snap off? Thank God they weren't playing at home. Unbelievable. Shout out JDZ Dominguez for the email. Titus, what are your initial thoughts on the email?
This sounds a lot like Big Daddy Kumquat over here. I know the man very well. Yeah, he snapped off, man. It happens. I don't know what you're gonna do when a guy gets that hot, as hot as Mitchell got. Score 71. It's embarrassing for sure. You never want to give up that many points, a historic number of points to an individual player, especially when they needed every bit of it to come, make their comeback and win in overtime. Obviously, a lot of frustrating calls towards the end of it. Joey's name tonight reflected that. Yeah, man. Be better, I guess. Defend the guy, but what are you gonna when a guy gets hot like that? I just don't know what you're gonna do. He's getting calls. He was getting calls.
So my thing on this, being the stats man of this podcast, this was regression to the mean. So prior to this game, in the previous 4 games, the Donovan Mitchell was 1-3. He had 12 points, 15 points, 28 points, and 15 points. If you add in this game that we got 71, you take those 5 games divided by 5, it's 28.3 points. His average this year is 29.3. So really, him getting 71 was just regression to the mean. It was what was
Deep
supposed
stats.
to happen. He was due for it after a few off nights. So Donovan Mitchell, man, and honestly, if they lost this game like they should have because he stepped over the line before the ball hit the rim at the end of the game, the Cavs would be
Hence
1-4
the
in the
name.
line. But no, no, and instead we got a 71-point game from Donovan Mitchell.
Hence the name.
That's a tough one. All right, next division. Thank you for the email.
Next
Appreciate
division, we are into the Southeast still. Last division in the Eastern Conference. The Atlanta Hawks up first. New Year's resolution, satisfy Trey. Shooting-wise, Trey has taken a step back against his career averages, but he's still the cornerstone of this franchise. Rumblings of discontent between Trey and the team shouldn't be ignored. Trey strikes me as a type who would sit out games to force himself into a situation he approves of. For a team hanging on to a play-in spot that had top 4 aspirations, that would be a worst-case scenario.
Chris, man, what do you think about this guy? This one, satisfy Trey.
That's an interesting note to say about Trey, that he's kind of more of a diva. I feel like you're calling Trey a diva here. With that
I think I am.
comment there.
It's quite the performer.
I kind of I don't know. I think Trey wants to win. Oh, he is a performer though with the New York stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna say it here. DeJounte Murray, worst trade of this offseason. Unbelievable. Could you imagine giving
Wow.
up that many picks and moves and everything for one player? I should not be wearing. I should wear a different hat. But DeJounte Murray, man, he's done exactly what you would thought, where he's just not really stepping up. He's kind of been fine, but like he's not really moving the needle. This team doesn't have anybody to really move the needle. The reason why Trey Young or the Atlanta Hawks lost the Luka Trey trade is because Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter did not turn into like a piece. Cam Reddish is a bust. DeAndre Hunter is kind of a mid-level,
he's mid.
Stealing is a
Mid.
Tobias Harris type. Floor is,
So mid.
Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know. Like, that's what sucks about it. They were trying to build a team, and they only got one player out of those 3. So,
Yeah, I mean, this definitely feels like a team that needs. I would say, satisfy Trey is a good way to put it, but I just think they just need to figure it the fuck out again. You guys, you made a trade for an all-star type player, supposed to be working out, and it's not. But you just need to kind of figure out what is going on, what's going on with the locker room drama, get it straightened out, and get back to the position they're supposed to be in, which is top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I think for me on this one, the big one was Trey being disgruntled in any way, shape, or form that leads him to like missing games or not performing is a worst case scenario for them. I don't know. He just strikes me as a full on diva that would do hey, I'm not playing until you guys figure this out, right? Kind of guy. So that to me is they got to figure that out. All right, next up, Southeast, the Charlotte Hornets develop. LaMelo is locked up for the new future, and they've got 3 rookies on the squad and a handful of third-year players. More Nick Richards and Kai Jones, and less Plumlee and Kelly Oubre Jr., which I guess one of those guys is now out for a while or season.
4 weeks,
but 4 weeks. You're not going anywhere by playing your veterans. See what you have in the young players. To me, this seems like a franchise who doesn't understand what they're supposed to be doing. You've got young players, you've got LaMelo. Like, why are you running Mason Plumlee out there as much as you are? Like, to mix it up.
What are you trying to do?
Young guys in, see what you have, and go from there.
Yeah, I kind of agree here. This is another team that maybe, obviously it's a little bit of a lost season. They were supposed to be better. People thought they were going to be a sneaky good team, maybe playing, kind of a contender, but it isn't the case. Realize where you're at and lean into that development, lean into the tank. Chris?
Yeah, I think this was the most predictable under. This was a lock, I think, for the under. I don't know if it was all 3 of us or just me. No, probably just us. But the only other thing I wanted to add to this was Mark Williams. Give him some more minutes. He was in the G League at the start of the year, but this team's not going to win or go anywhere. Just give him some NBA minutes. Keep it going. Use your 10th overall pick.
Get those minutes. All right, roll it down to the next team, Joey.
Miami Heat. Make a trade. What were once thought to be key players in Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry have proven disposable to the team that prides itself on being a constant contention. Plenty of teams need leadership and shooting and would be willing to pay for it. Bam, Jimmy, and Tyler Hero are clearly your core, so no excuse not to explore trading both.
Chris, what do you think here, man? A trade, that big a trade in their future?
Kyle Lowry to Minnesota?
Oh,
D'Angelo Russell. There's a Bill Simmons had a trade. I meant to pull it up. That I actually liked. He does so many trades. You're bound to like one of them, right? But he had a 3-teamer. I wish I pulled it up. But Kyle Lowry to Minnesota made a lot of sense because it was D'Angelo Russell to. This is bad pod because I don't have it in front of me. Anyways, yes, I agree that they should make a trade. Bam and Tyler Hero not getting enough credit for how they're holding it down. Jimmy Butler's been battling some kind of injury that I don't think he's going to play this season because he's still getting second opinions on it from the doctors on it. He's been in and out of the lineup. When he plays, he looks good, but like, could he just be, fighting through the pain?
hampering him all season.
So I agree on trade, but also at the same time, don't do anything crazy because if Jimmy's not healthy, this team's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, maybe the trade is with an eye towards next season. You know what I mean? Like you kind of punt on this season, make some moves around the edges, and to kind of with the eye of, hey, next season, Jimmy will be back, he'll be right, and let's go ahead and and make that push next year. Anything else, Joey? Or you want to move on to the next team?
We can move on to Chris's favorite team.
Ooh, yeah.
The Orlando Magic.
Big
Identify
guys.
role players. Franz, Paulo, and Wendell are your big three in quotes. After that, there's a plethora of players with similar skill sets. Bull, Bamba, Okeke, and Suggs.
Shout out Chuma Okeke.
Bull, Bamba, and Chuma Okeke. And then you got Suggs, Anthony, and Fultz are all fighting for minutes. Who do you keep and who do you let go? Figure it out and develop your identity and define your rotation. To me, this seems like a team with way too much overlap. The rotation is, they have a rotation, but you've got a lot of pieces. And for a team that is like, hey, we're kind of good, kind of bad, but we've got some good talent here. Like you've got the pieces to make some moves. So you figure out which ones you're keeping and dump the rest.
Chris?
Dude, this team's just messing around. They have 6'10" Franz Wagner starting at the 2 regularly, right? Like they got Fultz, Wagner, Banchero, Wagner again, and Wendell as their starting unit for for a few weeks here, and they're just having fun out there, man. Bull's coming in here dropping 12 on average a game. Sometimes he gets 20. He has highlights. He looks great. New Year's resolution for this team, they're big. Just keep doing your thing. Jonathan Isaac's supposed to come back soon. He hasn't played in like 800 plus days. So I got nothing else. Just have fun out there, guys.
Yeah, that's fun. That could be a good New Year's resolution. Identify some role players and have fun. Figure out, who's
honestly, that should be more people's resolutions. You know what? Stop focusing on stuff. Just have some fun.
Have some fun.
Some life advice here at the Box Out Boys.
All right, let's move it on.
Box Out Boys After Dark, life advice. Have some fun.
Have some fun.
All right, moving on. Washington Wizards, the Cherry Blossoms. Get whatever you can for Kuzma. Kuzma is having a career best in scoring, has made it clear he intends to test free agency, and he doesn't want to be in Washington. His value may never be as high as it is right now. Cash it in and add assets before you lose him for nothing as an unrestricted free agent, which he will be.
Yes, I agree with this. Get him out of there. I don't know what the Wizards are doing. He seems to be the biggest piece, kind of the prize of the upcoming trade deadline. It seems to be. Get him on a team and see what he can do in sort of a different contending role.
This is the most absolute yes, trade the guy. And, it's so obvious that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, the Wizards seem to have a thing where they think they can convince everybody that they have that they're going to be amazing at some point in time.
That missing link. Yeah, they're overvaluing him when everyone else is like, hey.
Yeah. I guess it worked with Beal because they convinced him to stay for his bag, but maybe I don't know. For somebody who openly comes out and says, "Hey, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be in your city. It sucks," and he's an unrestricted free agent. Like, that's dumb. If this was baseball, he'd be traded already, right? Right, Chris? He'd be gone.
Right. Yeah.
Time to move him.
Get him out of here.
All right, that wraps up the Eastern Conference. Any other comments on the East?
Can we get some music that kind of crescendos into the next conference?
Adam, his device is not connected. So
wow, Adam. Yeah. What happened, buddy?
The professional.
Yeah, take a nap or something again.
Yeah, take a nap.
We go back to napping.
Yeah.
Go get some juice or something.
maybe some majestic mountain sounds.
Some just like transition music into the Western Conference because
yeah.
this is gonna be a lengther here.
Well, I can sing
Yeah.
it if you want. So take me home, country roads. That's John Denver,
Dude,
but
please.
I was singing John Denver, but I was singing West
That's
Virginia,
like your ballad. I feel like if I think of what's
Joey's-
your theme song, it's
Take
that
Me
song.
Home, Country
West
Roads.
Virginia. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of John Denver because of the Denver Nuggets. So
Segue.
that being
Nice.
said, the best segue there is into the Northwest Division and the Western Conference. Denver Nuggets, get healthy. Jokic has the Nuggets top of the West on the back of another ridiculous season. With him flirting with a third straight MVP award, the Nuggets will need their entire cast to threaten for a title. Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray are central to this team's success in the playoffs when teams can lock down in a series on a team's single strength. If the Nuggets have multiple strengths, they become infinitely scarier.
I have something on this. My thought here. Okay. The Nuggets have been the number 1 seed. They look really good. I agree. Obviously getting healthy with Porter and Murray, getting them back and getting them right. But can Jokic win a third straight MVP? Is it like if he's a number 1 seed, still doing Jokic things? Do people just look at that and go, you know what? Let's just do it to do it. I feel like could that be the narrative all of a sudden turn into that?
Like not give it to him, just not to give it to him.
No, give it to him for the point of like we know that hey, there's probably some other candidates. Like if nobody else really puts their foot forward. Let's say Tatum is a 3rd or 2nd seed, right? Let's say Giannis is there, but the Bucks don't look great. Durant, nobody wants to give it to him. Luka's an 8th seed, so nobody's going to give it to him. Does all of a sudden hey, let's give it to a guy 3 years in a row? It's unprecedented. Let's just do it. He's the number 1 seed. Does that just happen?
It probably should.
So I'm gonna short this.
Yeah.
And say no.
No.
I do not. Like everyone's like, this is a common question as we come out, right? Like, hey, just give it Jokic a third. Bird got it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just give it to him again. No, he's not as good as he was last year or the year prior. And there's so much happening in this league this year that
True.
somebody else is going to win it. We got Jason Tatum, who already everyone's talking about him not winning it because they lost by 37 to OKC. You got Kevin Durant carrying Brooklyn to the second seed right now in the East. You got LeBron, who we'll see. I brought up LeBron way too soon. He's but the point is Zion was looking like an MVP candidate. But we got somebody at Luka. Luka, I feel like would get it over Jokic right now, just purely based on how he's been. And that's just like because based on what voters would think, it's like, oh, let's give it to this fun guy. I don't think, and this is really coming out of because I just watched Denver lose 124 to 111 to Minnesota at Minnesota and Minnesota did not have Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. They're missing a bunch of guys right now. Jordan McLaughlin, Torian Prince, but this team is still they're still. So my point is Denver, they're looking good right now, but I don't expect Jokic to actually get MVP. As opposed to, getting back to the point of, resolution wise, I don't know. Get better on defense. Bruce Brown, where you at? You've been back for a little while now. I called you out last week. I'm calling you out again this week. Play some defense. Get this team up there in the standing defensive rating wise. Let's go.
All right, we'll keep it there.
Right. We slid off. We slid off the
rails.
The Mountain Railroad there. So let's go back to the plains of the Midwest and the frozen tundra of Chris's current hometown, Minnesota Timberwolves. The New Year's resolution: play nice in the sandbox. Since the feel-good story of last season, the Wolves mixed it up and now have lost the chemistry that made them a fun watch. On paper, they should be winning more games than they are. Gobert looks out of sorts. Karl Anthony Towns is injured, and Anthony Edwards isn't consistently looking like the budding young superstar he was last season. That can all change in an instant for a team with this much potential. Just start sharing the shovel and build the castle together. My most poetic resolution, I may say.
I like this one a lot. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, this is the most open secret out there. Nobody likes Rudy Gobert. I think Naz Reid had a thing like, hey, people in the locker room are getting along with someone. I'm not going to name names here. And everyone's like, oh, okay, it's Gobert. Like, Rudy. What do you mean you're not going to name names? You said it without saying it. Austin Rivers, I'm just going to say what Austin Rivers said. We just need to scrap a 3 or 4 game win streak together. It'll turn the thing around. 3 or 4 games. That's it. That's all you need is a 3 or 4 game win streak and think it's going to turn around. If you think so, great. Let's do it. Austin Rivers has looked pretty good. Minutes he's been playing. He's been getting minutes lately. He's hitting some shots in the corner. Kind of like him again. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. Let's just stay. It's kind of a stay of the course. Play nice in the sandbox, as Joey said.
Yeah, I just think they made the mistake. They traded for Gobert, who is trash, and I've been saying that for years. And now you have to deal with it. So just live with your mistakes. That's my New Year's resolution for them.
Ooh,
Live with your mistake.
the first negative resolution of the night.
That's I've never heard that New Year's resolution before.
You
Live with your
you
mistakes.
just realize you made a mistake. Just go, you know what? We messed up. We shouldn't have done that, and now we just got to live with it. So it is.
All
Next
right,
team.
well, downer. Okay. yeah. Oklahoma City Thunder. Allow Shea to shine. Oklahoma City has played the tank game in the past, and they landed Chet Holmgren to pair alongside Shea for the future. Let Shea keep building his case as a top player in the league, and maybe in 2 years there will be a free agent interested in joining the small market. It's time to flip the script from rebuilding to retooling, and Shea is central to that. So this is a central round. I think they've played at the bottom long enough. They've got a player who finally looks like the player, like, the potential that you saw for a long time. They've got potentially a superstar, right? And Chet Holmgren, if he pans out the way everybody thinks he might, those two guys together, after 1 or 2 seasons, maybe they're a pretty good team. And somebody says, hey, let's go hook up with that. So I think they need to get out of rebuild, and they clearly kind of are by playing Shea as much as they have been playing him. So yeah, I hope they don't shut him down. I hope they don't do anything silly, and I hope they let him keep playing.
Yeah, I agree. This is a young, exciting team. Shea's a young, exciting player. I agree with you. It's time to take the next step. You're no longer a tanking, rebuilding team. You are moving towards a fun team that is looking to grow and be good soon. Chris, what do you think, man?
This team is taking forever to get good, and they're going to continue to take over. They're not going to do anything this year to change that, especially when they lost their second overall pick, to a season injury. My only note on this was Shea is so good. Let's move on.
Shea is so
good.
Shea is so good.
Portland Trailblazers defense. Are the Blazers wasting a top 10 offense by having the 18th ranked defense? Giving up 114 points over their last 6 games would certainly tell you they are. Gary Payton returning should help right that ship, but it's going to take a collective effort to stand up against the loaded West come playoff time. And with standing as of today, they would be facing Memphis in round 1, which would get super ugly if their defense is not locked down.
Chris, what do you think, man? Again?
Yeah. Gary Payton Gary Payton II played 13 minutes 2 nights ago, and he is out right now, not playing tonight. No game talk. He's not playing. The defense, I feel like GP2 might be the best perimeter player to actually influence a defense because the Blazers already have like the pieces in place. I feel like Jeremy Grant's already a pretty solid defender. Nurkic could be a beast in the paint when I see that guy really play. Like, you hear the story about how Nurkic got to the NBA because the GM met his dad, and his dad was like a bodyguard. So he's like, "Hey, do you have a son?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." And that's how they discovered Jusuf Nurkic, and then they made him an NBA player.
Cool story.
Anyways, I can elaborate better on that later because I wasn't preparing myself to actually talk about that right now. It just came to my head. Yeah, whatever, man. Portland,
D up.
Get your defense together. D up.
D up. We gotta start tightening up on some of these.
No, we're good. We're good.
Nah, we're fine.
Good.
All
This is the opening of the new year, Titus.
You're right.
That's right.
We can let it breathe a little bit.
Be a fan, man.
I'm counting.
Keep telling you this. Be a fan.
We're further along than I thought.
Be a fan. All right. Last one in the Northwest Division, Utah Jazz. Pick your ending. So I'm picturing one of those books as a kid where you get to, pick your chapter or pick your ending. The Jazz were widely expected to be rebuilding after dumping Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They've been surprisingly good and fun, but only good enough to be middle of the pack in a stacked West. Did they try to make the playoffs where they wouldn't be favored to advance or become what their preseason destiny was?
Yeah, this is another good one by you. Spot on. Pick your ending. I mean, I don't know what to make of this team because they are kind of good. I think they can be in the playoff mix. Laurie Market is still balling out, still playing good. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know which way they should go. I don't know which ending they should pick. Is kind of what I'm saying. Chris, what do you think, man?
Cause I'm free,
Here we go.
free falling, Utah. You are free falling. Yes, you are free. You're free falling. You had a fun run for 40 games, but you're not going to win 10 more. Free falling, Utah. Yeah, free falling.
Can you tell me if you just thought of that now or if you had been saving this all night?
No, I had notes.
I had notes. Tom
I'm
Petty
sorry.
has entered the studio, everyone.
Adam,
Yeah,
get out
Adam,
the
we lied,
mixers.
yeah.
Get out the mixers.
Adam, we lied. You are going to have some work. Beautiful rendition of Free Fallen. He's back.
Thank you.
Oh, Adam's
Thank
back. He's appeared. He's on mute.
He's on me. He's like, you
And
know
he's
what?
gone again.
He's gone. And you know what? He's like, could you not? You didn't
Could
think
you
that was
guys
good?
stop?
Will you play Running Down a Dream real quick for me?
Maybe next week.
Chris, beautiful singing there, my friend.
Thank
I
you.
loved it. They are free falling. So yeah, maybe they should go that way. But they've lost, the last 5 games, they've lost some close ones. So I don't know.
They're
I don't
still
know where I'm at with
competitive.
They're competitive.
But it's competitive in the way where they lost to San Antonio,
That's a tough one.
Miami, Golden State, but Golden State, Sacramento and Sacramento again. So
Like the beam.
yeah, man.
Joey, any thoughts on anything else on that? You can't follow that.
They
up.
need. They need to. They need
They
to
need
figure
to-
it out. And there's no way I will ever top what Chris just did.
It was an all-time
was-
box out boys.
He was holding the microphone. He was so into it. that I just-
You need to watch.
I
the
went,
clip.
I went even longer than I thought I was gonna go.
I
didn't write the
rewrote
notes
2 full
first.
Christmas songs, and I feel like I just got trumped by.
No, never.
30
But that was.
seconds,
It's because we were so unready for it.
It's beautiful.
And because I was with you for a second, I'm like, is this dude just off the dome singing a free falling rendition?
I'm
This
so
is
happy.
amazing.
It's made my night. It's made my night. Made the pod.
That was worth it.
All right. Well, we are done in the Northwest. Or wait.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We're in the Northwest.
Yes.
Yes. We're in the Pacific now.
Is this the last and final one or no? No.
No, we've got one more after that.
One more.
Pacific.
All right.
Golden State Warriors win on the road. If the Warriors were even just 500 on the road, they'd be first place in the Western Conference. Instead, they've lost 16 games on the road and are hanging out in the play-in tournament. If they make a run in the playoffs, it will be without home court advantage, and right now that's looking like a treat for the rest of the league.
This was wild to me that you pointed out that if they were even 500 on the road, they'd be atop the Western Conference, which is crazy because they've been so down in the bottom of the standings. It doesn't feel like that. It kind of shows how good they've been at home, which is ridiculous. So yeah, win on the road. Figure out what you're doing because they are a championship contender if they get to the playoffs. And right now, that's not going to be easy road going through who they have ahead of them. So, Chris, what do you think, man?
Did you guys know that Klay Thompson got 54 points the other night?
It was
I
double
knew it,
overtime.
But I was like, it's a quiet 54.
Yes.
It was the quietest 54 I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
That's crazy.
This seems fine. They're 17-2 at home. They're just, Golden State's the other team like Milwaukee where they can just fall under the radar and do their thing. And
Yeah.
as long as they're, in the top 6, you don't want to run into them in the playoffs.
No.
Like they're going to be, the toughest out. So that's it. My only thing from what Joey said here was wild stat because the
Yeah.
fact that they lost 16 road games is insane.
It's wild.
It's wild.
Yeah. They were 3 and 16.
The
on
most
road.
it's
So
the
3
most in the league.
Yes.
Most road losses. No, except Detroit. Detroit's got 17.
Yeah. So most in the league.
Terrible.
All right. Let's move into Los Angeles. Start with the Clippers. Consistency.
Yeah, Baz. Oh,
In theory, the Clippers have the most lethal lineup in the NBA. In theory, the
Theory.
problem is delivering that roster on a night in, night out basis. That being said, they've managed to keep themselves in the top half of the West. They can be a scary team to face come playoff time, but without consistent health, nobody is fearing this squad.
Chris, what do you think, man?
This team think they this shit. This team ain't this shit. Marcus Morris Sr. I've never seen a guy Actually, he might be the guy I don't like the most in the league watching because he just looks like a dick. You're watching him play, and sometimes, in some reason, he ends up with 16 points. I'm
Physically,
just
or
annoyed by
attitude?
it. Attitude, face, everything about him. There's a conspiracy about him and how his twin brother played for him when he was. Anyways, I can talk about it another time. But this team doesn't have to do anything. I just don't like this team.
We're gonna have to start a new segment of topics. Chris will talk about it another time.
Yeah, it was a Chris on fire. Didn't I come up with this segment already?
There's a Caliente
Chris on
Chris
fire.
fan.
Caliente Chris, yeah.
Chris just rambles. There it is. This team, I don't know. It's a weird team. Another weird team for me because Kawhi's obviously got the pedigree. Multiple champion. But the Clippers are acting like, it's just weird that they kind of act like they don't really need to play the regular season. And like this team hasn't done it. You know what I mean? Like you said, Joey, they're, in theory, the most lethal team. I think coming into the season, a lot of people thought they were contenders. They don't really seem like that just yet. But that's it for me. I guess get consistent, man.
All right, so we're consistent across the board here.
Yes.
Moving into the other side of Los Angeles, the Lakers. Keep LeBron healthy. A healthy LeBron is the key to the future for the Lakers. AD continues to be plagued with injury, and there's no counting on him to be in one piece when it counts. If the Lakers are appearing to not be heading anywhere this season, it's best to protect LeBron and save him for what hopefully can be next season. This isn't like make sure he doesn't like pull a hamstring. This is like make sure his body doesn't just like call it quits, and this is the last we see of LeBron. I think, Titus, you probably got some comments on this, but like, please don't let. I mean, you guys know I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but like this shouldn't be the last we really see of him. So
yes,
the Lakers need to do the entire league a service here and make sure that they don't fuck this up.
Yeah, either like let him get the record and shut it down because he's going to get the all-time scoring record, and then let's save it for next year. Or my kind of adjustment to this one would be get him some damn help, man. The guy he's 38 years old or 37, however old he is, and he's absolutely balling. And he's got nobody on that team. It's an absolute waste of the greatest player of all time's final seasons. So that's my thoughts on it. Give him some help. Chris?
Guys averaged 90 points the last 2 games.
Average
Of
90
course, they're
points.
against.
He's averaged 45 points the last 2 games then.
Sorry, he's combined for 90 points the last 2 games.
Gotcha.
LeBron for MVP. Can we begin? No. He's out tonight. No game talk. Anyways, I don't know, man. Joey, your talk is fine. Like keep LeBron healthy.
You're fine.
Maybe trade him to Cleveland.
We'll see. We'll talk about that at a later date.
It's cool, man. I wrote 30 resolutions, but your talk is fine. Don't worry, man. We're good. Love it.
Your talk is fine.
All right.
Rolling.
Moving to Phoenix. Find the spark. Is it a Crowder trade? A win streak? The Suns were 10-6 before Thanksgiving with 2 5-game win streaks. Since they're 8-12 with a 5-game losing streak. They need some fresh blood to jumpstart their season in a Western Conference that is getting better by the game. They're built as a team and have a superstar. This can work, but they need a boost. This one's kind of open-ended. I don't know what the boost is. I don't know if it's a trade. I don't know if it's just
so like can
full
we get
health.
Crowder for Kuzma and like some assets?
That might be all right. I'd do that.
Why isn't that happening? I don't know.
I don't
Is Phoenix
know.
not like Kuzma? I don't know.
Seems like Washington would say no to that, though.
Yeah, because what does that do for Washington?
Right.
Yeah, because
I'm being vague on what the assets
player.
would be,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, but if you got assets, I think that can make it work. But they probably think they're a contender. Who knows?
Phoenix is probably not giving up enough. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, but no, I love this one, Joey. This was one of the ones that really stood out to me reading them.
It just feels like a rom-com where like just kiss already. Like just trade Kuzma for Crowder already. Let's go. I don't know how it's gonna happen. Just let's have it happen.
Hold on, we gotta address this real quick. No game talk. Armida Twinks.
No,
Just kidding.
Armida, you are spot on. What a game.
What a game! I know. I keep looking.
I'm getting at the left corner of my eye here. We are.
I have no idea what you're talking about because
What a game.
We're on a
We're talking
podcast
about,
right now.
games. Yes.
What a game.
Interesting. What a game.
Unless
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
man,
the
this
podcast,
one
and the
is-
podcast is a game, and it's great.
Interesting to me because I'm with you, man. Like, find the spark is such a good way to put it. Like, I have no idea what's going on in Phoenix. They don't seem like they have any kind of energy. They're kind of now they're going to fall short of their projected, the win loss record that I was hoping they go over on. But now they're not going to do that. this team is supposed to be a contender, and it just seems like they're falling off the map. Yes, Grandmama, I know you're my grandma, and we know you're talking about the Bulls Nets. Thank
Love
you.
it. She's
Love
locked in.
Shout
She's
out
locked in
Armida
to the Box Out
Dominguez.
Boys and locked into the Bulls Nets.
Appreciate
game.
you.
Up 10. All right. Anything else on that one, guys?
Nope.
Nope.
Last team then in the Pacific. Here we go. Sacramento Kings get a new beam button.
I like this. This is fun.
Is there a more fun story in the NBA? The Kings are winning, lighting a giant purple beam, and making Sacktown relevant. They've got pieces. They're winning games. So get a cooler button, press it emphatically, and snap the playoff drought. This one's simple. You've got an awesome thing going. You shoot a giant purple light into the sky. It's cool as shit. I think it's awesome. But
It
like,
is.
you can't just have like an easy button to do. Like, you need to have something badass. Like, your mascot needs to like jump through a ring of fire and then it hits a button. And like, do something cool. Shoot the purple beam in the sky, and let's just make this as fun as it can be.
All right. Should they go with like an old school TNT box, like with the little T handle that goes up and they punch it? Or should they go like Jurassic Park, a big thing that you just open and close, a big flap? What do you think? Or like a big button that says light the beam?
I think a big button that says light the beam. And I think they need to lean into the light the beam thing. And it used to be like a whole, kind of like Trey Kirby when he's trying to light the beam.
Light the beam.
Like, it just needs to be awesome.
Also, just quickly, language, guys.
All right, sorry.
Language.
Sorry.
I've been
I've been
She got me all fired up with this bull
that's
score.
going on.
The
Yeah.
game talk.
the game talk.
Game talk.
All right, Chris, what do you think, man? Light the
I like
damn
the
beam.
beam. Stay the course. We're good. Let's move on.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Last division. Here we go. The last 5 teams in the West and the league. Southwest Division. Dallas Mavericks. Get Luka some help. It's taken multiple unworldly efforts from Doncic for the Mavs to float around 500 for most of the season, with even more out of this world play to get them on their current 7-game win streak. Luka is the player every team dreams of, and it's time to add to the roster to keep frustrations from boiling over. Winning cures all, and it's time the Mavs give Luka the pieces to win something meaningful.
Yeah, Christian Wood, if he doesn't sign a contract, he can get traded by February 9th. So he might get traded by a Thursday. I think he will. This team needs to do something. Luka is just on the prime of his
Yes.
prime right now. He's only 23 years old. It's the craziest thing. He's not even at
ridiculous.
his prime. He's just
He's just that
doing
good.
Luka things. It's just we've never seen anything like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I agree with Joey. Give him some help.
Yeah, this is another one for me where it's like a waste of a player. I kind of feel like there's only a certain number of guys that make you a contender just by having them on your team. Luka is definitely one of them. If he's not number one, he's number 2. So yeah, you got to figure this out because you could be starting your title contention next year. You know what I mean? It could have started this year. He said he's only 23. So let's go, guys. What are you doing?
Don't waste it.
Don't waste it. Once in a generation player.
Yeah.
All right, next team, man. Let's move
Houston
it.
Rockets send Eric Gordon down the road. The Rockets have held onto him long enough. They don't need a savvy veteran to win 20 games in a season. They have enough young talent that can win those games. Open the roster spot, collect some assets from a contender needing the veteran push in the back of the half of the season. Land Victor, and nobody will care that he's gone.
I'm with this. Move him. It's another one. It's time, guys. Let's go. Chris.
Move him. He's 33, 35 years old. He was born on Christmas Day.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
This one doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
he's the kind of guy like they held on to him last year. I think some teams wanted him, and it was
Yeah.
they were.
He's like
they
the
were
team
adamant
chemist. He's
about-
like the Udonis Haslam for Houston, but
But
he's
like-
still too good to
Except
waste
they
his
asked him
talent in
recently
this
if the team's
setting,
shown
right?
any improvement recently. He said no, we've improved on nothing. So I don't think the chemistry really
Chemistry
getting
was-
them there, right? So
This guy's ain't improving.
doesn't quite get what they're trying to do here. So
Yeah. Get him out of there. Come on, man. Help him out.
yeah, had some. That's an easy one to do. All right, Memphis Grizzlies. This one was fun to write. I enjoyed this one.
I see that.
It
Yeah.
makes sense. You can't argue with it. All right,
I'm gonna argue.
With this one.
learn humility. The Grizzlies walk a tightrope between cocky and confident and found on Christmas Day the bad side that comes with calling out the big dogs. While the Flash can be fun and exciting, that's a positive. Carrying that mentality is going to get you the best every team has to offer. And until they're ready to handle that shine on a nightly basis, they're best suited to fly under the radar.
You know what?
Go
ahead.
It's not. It's fun. It's flashy, but like for a team that hasn't won anything, like, do you really want to call out these guys that like have something to prove? Like, right? Do you really want to call out Clay and the Warriors? Like, do you want to do that, or do you just want to be like, hey, we're just gonna go in there and beat them? I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna. So let's do this. I'm gonna quote Stacey King right now, and it's, if you're scared, go buy a dog. Okay.
Oh man.
And the Memphis Grizzlies are not scared of anybody. And my New Year's resolution for them would be keep being you, man. That's who they are. They're that cocky team. They're a little arrogant. Do they deserve it? Or have they earned it? Probably not. But that's okay. You know what? If you're afraid to talk to these teams and welcome the hardest shots from everybody, you're not going to be ready for the playoffs. And I kind of like what they do. But at the same time, I do kind of agree with you.
I will also quote Stacey King and say, "Pressure bursts pipes."
True.
So bring the pressure on yourself, and see what happens.
Well, keep it up, boys.
Good night, Grandma Armida.
Thank you for
Enjoy
joining
the hot
us.
chocolate.
Yes, enjoy the hot chocolate.
Hot cocoa.
A hot cacao.
I agree
That's
with
good.
Titus on this one. The Memphis Grizzlies remind me of
you.
Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers when they went 15-1 and they made it to the Super Bowl. Of course, Cam
That
had an
worked out
awful
for him.
Super Bowl game. But I'd rather just be who you are. You know,
Yeah,
if you
who
want
you
to, if you want to talk shit, talk shit. Armida's
Want
gone. So
smoke?
I can swear again.
Yeah.
Bring the smoke, get the fire. Let's see what happens. I kind of like that they're doing this. It's annoying because they're doing it against teams that I would rather see win over them. But at the same time, I like the personality. I like the spunk that I'm seeing from the Memphis Grizzlies.
I guess the only note I would have on this is I'm cool with you being, a little bit arrogant, but if you get beat, you better not be a little asshole about it. You better take it on the chin. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
You can talk your shit, but you get when they get beat eventually, because they will in the playoffs. You need to take it on the chin, and I don't want to hear any crying afterward, or all those guys were stomping on our logo or something like that. Nah, man, you tip your cap and you say, all right, you got us. We'll be back.
I like this. I see a Box Out Boys bet brewing here. We'll think about this one.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
All right. Another disagreement between the cast here. All right.
Yes.
Down to our last two. We got two left here.
Two left.
New Orleans Pelicans. Don't get hurt. The Pelicans are flirting with the number one seed in the West with a top 10 offensive rating and defensive rating, despite missing Zion and Brandon Ingram for stretches in the season. A middle-strength Pelicans was dangerous in last season's playoffs. A full-strength Pelicans in this season's playoffs is a title contender.
Oh. I'm with you on this because I was looking at standings. Right now, Western Conference is, it's Denver, Memphis, and Pelicans in some order. They've all been flip-flopping. I think those are the three best teams in the West. I agree with you here. I think you got to get Zion back and ready to go. Get this team some reps as a unit with everybody there, with Ingram and McCollum. Because I agree. I think one of those three teams is coming out of the Western Conference. I don't know who, but I think it's one of those three teams.
Sir, what are the three teams again?
Denver, Memphis, and New Orleans. I think one of those three teams is coming out of the West. I think they're all really good.
Joey, I loved your first sentence here. Don't get hurt. Zion is currently suffering from a hamstring injury. He's out for 3 weeks.
I wrote this I finished this one on Monday or Tuesday. So
that's great. Zion, when I watched him against Minnesota, he hit a 3. It was really, when he hits a 3, it's like, okay, I guess they're going to win. He had 43 in that game. He's very good at playing basketball, and I hope I see more of him playing. I agree with everything you said. This team is fine. They have so many pieces that they could sustain some injuries, but they need to be fully healthy come playoff time. So, yeah, just don't do what Milwaukee's doing and try to rest on purpose. But, if you get hurt, don't force it.
Yeah, don't rush back.
All right, boys, we've made it. The last one. It's the easiest one. I shifted the the lineup here to make the easiest one last.
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs. Don't change. It's the easiest of the resolutions. Keep losing. The more ping pong balls you get, the better chance they have at Wembanyama. Cut and dry. Since the grandma's gone, don't fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Yes, just keep shooting with one hand. Whatever you got to do. To get those,
Yes, way to bring it back.
full circle. Just keep
Love
shooting with
it.
one hand
Full
and
circle.
get those ping pong balls, like Joey said. This is easy, man. You got
I got nothing to say.
We got
That's
nothing to add to
great.
this. Well, Joey, great work on the list. Chris, you were on fire tonight. Our Bulls won. We could put the final up. Here we go. 121 to 112.
Boom.
Boom.
Suck on that, KD.
Our courtside reporter, Graham.
Bulls are back.
Rodriguez. Bulls are back. Don't get sucked in, Joey. Don't
I'm
get sucked
back
in.
in. I'm so
I know you're
inside
so,
of
I
the
saw
fun
you.
again.
I saw you watching the game and getting locked in. He's so sucked in. All right.
So sucked it.
Well, that is it for us tonight. Join us next week to talk more NBA basketball. We're gonna have some hot topics next week, I feel like. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays around 8:30. And as always, like and subscribe wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Tyson. Until next time, Box Out.